Trimble. Doctor, how are we doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing very good. Been a long time since we talked.
I know. Yeah. I mean, we didn't, obviously, we had that Monday night game, the home opener, which was an onslaught. The Bills have played wonderful. And then this past week, which I apologize to everybody. We were supposed to have T and Kevin last week. I was not feeling good. I would have loved to come on, but I don't think any of you would have loved to hear me because I sounded like Barry White if Barry White had the worst voice in the world. Um, that being said, we obviously are coming out of a Ravens game where the weather was not conducive to really much of anything. But that said, we are moving into week 5 against the Steelers. Should be really nice, actually. I think I looked up the weather. It's supposed to be 53 and sunny. Really nice fall football weather. Kyle, how are we looking heading into week 5?
It's been rough. It's been a real rough past 2 weeks here. Thankfully, this most recent game didn't come with the injuries that we saw the past 2 weeks here. We can dig into some of the previous injuries from the past 2 weeks, but the injuries coming out of yesterday's game were Isaiah McKenzie left with a concussion. He's currently in the concussion protocol. James Crowder suffered a left ankle fracture. It looked like a high ankle sprain on video, and then they put him in air cast. Ian Rappaport confirming today that is a broken ankle. He's out indefinitely, likely for the season. And Jordan Poyer went for x-rays after his pretty much a game-sealing interception, which led to them kicking the game-winning field goal. They haven't said anything that, like, what's going on with him. He says he's all right, but we've heard those guys say a lot of that stuff. Gabe Davis with his ankle, Ed Oliver with his ankle. So those guys say they're all right, but really they're dealing with something. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with Poyer on the injury report if he shows up again. But those are the injuries from Sunday's game. But we've had just a host of injuries over the past 2 weeks have just really reshaped the roster, including Micah Hyde, Tommy Doyle, Jake Kumaro, you name a player, and they're probably on the injury report, unfortunately.
Now, obviously, at this point, we are heading into week 5. This is really that territory where Tre'Davious White could potentially be activated. What is your expectation? Do you think this is going to be maybe after the bye week, or where do you think it kind of falls in line?
I guess some more after the bye week because he's going to need more ramp up time. Because I had originally thought he was going to be activated right off the pop right when cut downs were happening because he needs that ramp up time for practicing. And I thought, okay, let's get him on the pup, get him activated, for their first 3 or 4 weeks of the season, get him ramped up, and they elected to keep him on pup, saving the roster spot, and then take him out to this point. So if you're looking at a 3 to 4 week ramp up there, you're looking at after the bye week and week 8 against Green Bay, week 9 against the Jets is a possibility, or even week 10 against the Vikings. I either say it's going to be either week 8 against the Packers because that give you that 3-week ramp up, though they won't really practice a whole lot, with the bye week in there. So that might throw some things off. I don't know how I feel about Trey White coming back and play against the Jets at MetLife Stadium. That turf has been host to numerous injuries over the years. We saw the Giants wide receiver, Sterling Shepard. He tore his ACL just jogging down the field, trotting. I was trying to say that. They've just seen a lot of other issues over these years. I don't think the turf is too great, and that's a whole nother discussion whether the turf really does cause ACL tears or other issues like that. But they don't need to rush him back out there and get the total number of snaps. But they did not confirm or deny when he's going to come back. They said they're going to take it one day at a time. But I think when he does get activated, it's just going to be like that. They're not going to announce it. It's just he's going to be out there one day.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Yeah, I figured as much, and especially with Tre'Davious and us being 3-1, I think you're not going to see him this coming week because my expectations is the Steelers are ass. To be honest with you, I'm not expecting much out of the Steelers, and especially if the plan is in fact to start Kenny Pickett, I think Frazier and McDermott are going to throw the sink at this kid and just try to take him down that way. So no reason. And then the other part about it is, quite frankly, obviously with our secondary playing as well as it has, there's no reason to rush him back until he is 100%. So any other big notes with the Steelers? Anybody that they are, potentially something we should watch out for?
I don't think so. I know that they're going to be without TJ Watt still. He's on injury reserve due to his partial pectoral tear suffered in, I believe, his week 1. Yeah. So he's out. Thankfully, that's one less guy to be pressuring Josh Allen because our offensive line is still kind of in flux at times due to the injuries on our end. So we'll be without him. I haven't really had a chance to dig into the Steelers injury report, but they haven't had anything that really jumped out at me. I've been looking more at the AFC East, and a lot of the AFC East teams have been playing the Steelers at different points, including the Patriots and whatnot. And I haven't seen anything that says, hey, this is what's going on here. So there should be surprises coming in for the Steelers, but hopefully our injury report's a little bit less than 16, 17 players that we've seen on there. Because getting some of those guys off will be more beneficial in the long run, because it's a lot of work for me, but it's also a lot of work looking at the injury report and saying, man, who is going to play and who isn't. Hoping Ed Oliver's going to come back this week after he's dealing with the high ankle sprain, suffering week 1. Everybody else is slowly coming back. Gabe Davis is still kind of iffy on the ankle, though. I don't think that he should be sitting anytime soon, because who does he have behind us? Kumero's out, Crowder's out. They could activate Marquez Stevenson, but he's coming off a surgery. He's going to be about 2 months out from that surgery date. Doesn't have a ramp up time, and depending on the type of procedure he has, he might not even be ready to be activated. So Davis is probably going to continue struggling, but hopefully he's going to continue to get farther and farther away from the original injury and get better. Just hope that these guys continue to get healthy and get right, and then take the bye week for what it is and really get healthy. Then gear it for the second half of the season.
Perfect. Yeah, I think it's it'll be interesting going forward, but the best possible scenario, I feel like, is getting rid of some of these things in the early parts of the season where you're obviously showing what the Bills can truly be early on, and just getting all the wrinkles out now. So
yeah, well, being 3-1 and having all these injuries, I mean, that shows the depth there. But we saw what happened with the 2020 season. We were doing real good. All the injuries started happening right toward the end of the season, and that's where we kind of just came up short against the Chiefs there. So it's like, had Diggs, Davis, and Beasley been healthy, who knows what could have happened then? Or just injuries affect everybody every year. But it's just like, I'd rather have now play very well, get them out of the way, and get everybody back for when you really need them during that final stretch.
Yeah, if you had Tre'Davious White in that game against the Chiefs covering Tyreek Hill on that slant pass, you're talking that 13 seconds goes a hell of a lot different. So
yes,
needless to say, Kyle, we appreciate you as always. You can find all of Kyle's fantastic content at bangedupbills.com, also on Twitter at bangedupbills. He does stuff for Locked On Bills, for us here, for Cover One, as well as who else was it?
I'm everywhere. Buffalo Rumblings. I got a segment
Rumblings.
on Gridiron Heroics. I'm everywhere this year.
Everywhere. Awesome. Well, Kyle, as always, we truly appreciate you, and
Thank you.
We will see you next Monday.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Take care, brother.
Night.